Grand opening, grand closing. Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. It's your only friend these YouTube streets, Puerto77. Grand opening, grand closing. Let's go straight into the topic. Final Fantasy 16 pre-orders. Apparently, Square Enix is panicking. Let's unpack two things. Let's unpack this information, and then let's unpack Xbox fanboys' reaction to this. So first, apparently, it's being reported by one source, mind you. Everybody else is just copying this one source that Square Enix is reportedly panicking over Final Fantasy pre-order. Now, the report is, it's talking about that Square Enix panicking, that the pre-orders are not meeting expectations. It says this information comes from a recent report from Imran Khan. He recently started a new gaming newsletter on his Patreon titled Everything Everywhere Once a Week, which covers a number of games, mostly regarding recent releases and industry news. This includes the likes of recently announced 1 to 2 Switch sequels to Square Enix upcoming Final Fantasy Rebirth. This newsletter covers how things are potentially unfolding at Square Enix and potentially why Rebirth is choosing to hammer out its release date now. According to Khan, he recently heard that Square Enix was panicking, if slightly, over Final Fantasy 16's pre-order numbers. They are reportedly currently tracking below what Final Fantasy 15 was getting at the time of its release. This number also accounts for the lesser amount of platform it was targeting. He acknowledges that these pre-order numbers are most useful in tracking guaranteed day one sales when stacked against potential day one sales, so it could be higher when the game actually releases. Right? This was, as you can see, it went through a feed, and then everybody immediately talking to it, right? And then everybody is having conversations about it. But here's my first question. How is he the only one to get this information? Like, where did he get it from? Was it from an interview? Did he get it from an investor's brief? That Square Enix has? Like, where did he get this information that Square Enix is panicking, and how did he get this information? Nobody fact-checked this guy, right? So that right there is like, whatever, okay? Because how is he the only one who got this information, and then everybody is just reporting it based on his word? He just started a podcast. So what great way to chase clout to boost up your podcast and boost up your Patreon. Hey, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, right? We'll see what happens when the real sales comes out. But this leads to my next question, right? And here's my next question. At what point did the Xbox fanboys, influencers, or anybody in the Xbox community get involved in this, right? With the whole, oh, you got low sales because it's not on Xbox or whatever. Like, what? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what nonsense is you guys mentioning here? Listen, I could maybe understand if the conversation was PC day one. But the game is going to PC. They mentioned it will be a PC version. PlayStation 5 was the focus, so they could focus on one platform. And then they will do a proper port on the PC. So it's coming to PC anyway. But I want to know, when did Xbox community chime into this, knowing damn well, when it comes to third-party sales, you're literally on the bottom platform tier. Like, literally. The brand has the worst sales when it comes to third party. PC, PlayStation has been pretty much carrying the third party industry. Nintendo, whenever it's involved, Xbox is not really a non-factor. Come here. Oh my God. Listen, this is, come here. Zoom, come here a little closer, right? This is what I need you to do. I need you guys to do this. Listen, come here, come a little closer, all right? This is what I need you guys to do. I need you guys, for once in your life, besides committing to licking Phil Spencer's booty hole, I need you to commit to Game Pass. And what I mean by that is really commit. Take the good and the bad. Like, really commit to it, okay? Right? The good side of Game Pass that you guys are advertising is that you get to play a whole bunch of games for only $15 a month. So that's where you're investing your monies to, right? You're paying your $15 a month and you're accessing these games, and Microsoft is providing, whether it's his own first party guaranteed or various third parties that it can make a deal with, you get these games day one. That's what you guys are hyping. But there is a dark side to this, because you have this mechanism to play lots of games for $15 a month. A lot of gamers are choosing not to buy games unless it's like one of the most biggest games of the year. They're opting to not buy it because they don't really have to, because they have so much content that's being provided, not only that's already there on Game Pass, but all the day one content that's coming. So they don't really have time to worry about buying $70 games unless it's something unique, like if they're a fan of 2K or fan of Madden or Grand Theft Auto, something really big, something really out of the box, right? Other than those really super big games, you're gonna play a Game Pass game. So that means you guys are buying less games. Commit to that. Just admit that Final Fantasy 16 is pretty much dead on arrival on the Xbox platform unless it's on Game Pass. Most of you guys ain't gonna play it. The numbers are there. Square Enix not stupid. They actually see how many Xbox gamers actually bought their games. Okay, they even recently mentioned that they go out to various multi-platform developers to see where they could port their games, and Xbox wasn't really interested. Okay, most likely because they want their games on Game Pass. Listen, just commit. Can you just commit to Game Pass? Admit that game sales have dropped, especially for the big AAAs, right? Because you're not interested in paying, especially now that the games are $70, you're not interested in paying $70 for games, right? Because chances are you're playing something else that you're enjoying, or there's a chance that the game might one day come to Game Pass. So you guys moved on to that. You guys moved on from a la carte sales. So just commit. Don't worry about games coming to Game Pass coming to Xbox that's not on Game Pass. You guys really don't care about that. Unless it's like one of the super big blockbuster games like Diablo recently. Sure, that's a good example, Street Fighter, Other than that, you guys really don't care about Final Fantasy. Listen, if you're really a Final Fantasy fan, you transitioned from Nintendo to PlayStation. You're not worried about Xbox. Anybody who's a real Final Fantasy fan is not worried about Xbox. Because that's a battle that's long dead. You went from Nintendo, transitioned to PlayStation. You're a big Final Fantasy fan. You love Final Fantasy. You've been playing it since day one. You know to get a PlayStation. Every Final Fantasy fan knows PlayStation is the spot to play. Even during the PS3 era, when it was day one multiplayer on 360 and Xbox 360 was doing phenomenal, somehow sales were still bigger on Final Fantasy on PlayStation 3, might add you, than on the Xbox 360. That's how big and predominant the Final Fantasy fan base is. They transitioned from Nintendo to PlayStation. So stop this nonsense. All you guys still crying, boycotting, say all this stuff, you guys are not Final Fantasy fans. Everybody knows Final Fantasy, if you're a fan of it, that's a PlayStation thing, and they just moved on. It is what it is. So I need you to commit, okay? Would you please commit? Stay with Game Pass. If it's not on Game Pass, don't worry about it. All the other big games are going to be there. Come on now. Stop this nonsense. Stop this trash, right? Stop this trash. Thank you very much. All right. Now back to what I was saying. All right. Let's not play coy here, okay? To the PlayStation fans, to those who watch my channel, PlayStation 5 PC fans, again, these Xbox dudes, you'll get no education out of them. They don't really care about the sales of Final Fantasy 16. They don't really care. Listen, these guys don't really care about the sales of anything PlayStation. Don't let them think, man, Final Fantasy would do so much better if it was on Xbox. They don't really give a shit about that, right? As long as it's on Xbox, they don't give a shit if nobody buys it. They just want the game on Xbox, even though they're not gonna buy it themselves. Okay? Let's not lie. Let's move on from the nonsense. Okay? June 22nd, Final Fantasy 16 is coming. It's here. I'm going to buy it. I don't know how many of you will or will not buy it. I'm certainly most will. And hopefully it will be an amazing experience. That's it. But all this nonsense or concern about pre-orders is from one source who hasn't even verified how he got the information in the first place. Come on now. Stop this trash. Stop the trash. For now, Xbox community, you got a showcase coming June 11th. Put your energy towards that. And hopefully Microsoft knocks it out the park. Or at least at a minimum does better than what PlayStation did for their own showcase. Other than that, let me know what you think. Hit up the comment section. This is your only friend on YouTube, Sporty77. If you're new and you're watching this for the first time, I hope you stick around. Hit the subscribe button. Check some of my previous content, which I think you'll like. And I hope you look forward to more content. Every Tuesday, 60 Frames No Lag podcast. I'll see you guys there, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right? You guys take care. Peace.